There you see his numbers for the season, and for the Edmonton Oilers, it'll be number 30, Bill Ranford, the former Boston Bruin. And a bit of a surprise, we expected to see Grant Fuhr, but Ranford indeed, for just the second time in the last 14 games, starting for the Oilers. McTavish and Oates on the face-off, and we're underway here from Edmonton. Thomas Janssen, the former New York Islanders, several changes in this Edmonton lineup since the Wings were last in here just before the All-Star break. Messier sends it across the Detroit zone. Klima is there to clear it out center ice. Janssen wearing number 23, acquired from the Islanders for future considerations back in February. Here comes Messier across the line. Drop pass for Huddy. Lets the shot go. Step in the first save of the game. McTavish worked it to the corner. Zombo plays it up the boards. Huddy pinches in. Keeps it in there. Here's Huddy now. Sends it off the corner boards. Picked up there by Messier. Messier checked by Chason. Oilers with pressure in the Detroit zone. A pass across and tipped away by Chason. And finally Oates is able to clear the zone. Here's a steal now by Oates up into the Edmonton zone. He slashed at, gets the shot off, the save by Ranford. And Glenn Anderson starts it back the other way for the Oilers. Gives it up for McTavish, back for Anderson. Quick wrist shot, a save there by Steffen. Now this is Dave Hunter, deep in the Detroit zone, trying to one-hand it out front. It's picked off by Klima. He'll break back the other way. Wings looking to finish some player changes here as Klima plays it ahead into the Edmonton zone. Ranford moves it to Jari Kurri. Now for Tikkanen. Esa Tikkanen, number 10, up the left side into the Detroit zone. His drop pass was tipped away. It was sent back in offside by Craig Muni. Gives us an opportunity to talk about the scratches in the game tonight. For the Red Wings, Jim Nill, Dale Krentz, and Jeff Sharple's not in uniform. For the Oilers, Miroslav Preacher, who's missed the last 16 games with an injury. Steve Smith, Jeff Bukabu, Mark Lamb, and Chris Joseph. Not in uniform tonight for Glenn Sather's Oilers, who were on a pretty good roll, Mick, not too long ago. They went into Hartford. They lost 7-3. They blew a 5-3 lead here against Calgary, settled for a 5-5 tie, and then lost here to Los Angeles over the weekend.
They had won 6 in a row, David. Now they're 0-2-2 in their last 4 games, so they're on a bit of a down streak right now. This is the last game of a 3-game homestand for them. They go to Vancouver tomorrow. They leave right after the game tonight.
Curry over on the left wing looking for Hunter. Too far ahead of him. Steffen plays it back off the boards. Now here's Hunter, and Gallant took it away. Gallant just plays it back down the ice into the Edmonton zone. Tikkanen back to get it. Gives it off to Kevin Lowe. Now center ice taken by Delorme. Drives it back in wide of the Edmonton goal. Now Ranford wristing it up the boards, and it bounces out center ice, taken there by Simpson. Rink wide now for Curry. Curry peels back toward the blue line, but he was pressured by O'Connell and lost the puck. And Curry back to get it now for Doug Hallworth, the former Red Wing. Ahead for Carson, now for Simpson, and that play offside as Carson was hit there by Delorme. 2.5 minutes gone by in the first. No, watch the Red Wing action tonight. Just 9 games left in the regular season, counting this one tonight. Here comes Torrey Robertson up into the Edmonton zone. Sends it across for O'Connell. Lets the shot go. Ranford the save. Norman Lacombe now. Checked there by Burr. Randy Gregg goes back after it. Delorme could not hold it in. O'Connell will chase it back now. Into the Detroit zone. O'Connell, quick little pass there to get it to Gilbert Delorme. Center ice for Koser. Dumps it ahead into the Edmonton zone. Burr trying to get around Craig. Couldn't center it. Now here's Koser. Behind Linetti goes to Torrey Robertson. Looking in front. The pass did not get through. Hallward blocked it. Here's Burr. Back to Chason. Lets the shot go. Tipped, and Ranford made the save. Oilers able to clear. Lacombe gives it off to Carson. Carson taken down by Chason. Puck recovered by Zombo. Rick Zombo coming off a strong performance last night in Vancouver. Now here's Carson back inside the Detroit line. His pass was tipped by Chris King. Back out center ice. Here's Chason. Bookberger took a run at him. Now Koser out in front of the Detroit bench. Run into there by Brown, but Koser controls the puck into the Edmonton zone. Koser one-hands it right out in front. Comes off the board. Chason lets it go. Missed it. On the short side up high. Zambo sends it back toward the net. Charlie Huddy worked it to Janssen. Back to Huddy. Charlie Huddy being worked over by Shabbat. Works it ahead now to McClellan. Taken away by Higgins. Shabbat kicks it up into the Oilers zone. Brown going after it. King collides with him. It's held in now by Higgins to Shabbat. Back for Higgins. Lets the shot go. Ranford the save. Gives it off to Janssen. Thomas Janssen starts it back now for the Oilers. Charlie Huddy fires it across the Detroit zone. Taken there by Norwood. Tim Higgins, who got a rest last night, did not dress in the game against Vancouver. Chris King dumps it in behind Ranford. Takes a strange bounce. Higgins couldn't get much on it. And he was hooked there. And Ranford able to keep the puck from coming loose. Still no score. 5 minutes gone by in the first.
Put out there. Brown on the right side, the former Philadelphia Flyer tough guy. McClellan at center, and Buchberger on the left wing.
Not much question what their role is out there. Messier and Yzerman, the two captains on the draw. Oilers control. Anderson ahead now for Messier. Messier poke check there by Chason. And Gallant starts it back for the Red Wings. Gallant up the left side, lets the shot go, deflected wide of Ranford. Picked up by Kevin Lowe. Clears ahead for Anderson. On Anderson, little drop pass for Messier, just offside.
Himself offside. Passed the puck to the side, onto the blue line, and he went across the line after he delivered a pass and put himself offside. The Oilers 20-some points behind the Calgary Flames. 25 to be exact. That is a strange position for them to be in after the last several seasons.
Even stranger that they're in third place. They're two behind Los Angeles. The Kings winning last night. And Mick not only winning, but shutting out Quebec 4-0. Not that Quebec is a powerhouse by any means, but for the LA Kings to come into this building and win 6-3, give up only 3 goals to the Oilers, then go and shut out Quebec. Looks like the Kings, with the acquisition of Kelly Rudy, are starting to think about their goals against a little more. Here's McLean dropping into Zambo, trying to send it across for Yzerman. Here comes Anderson with McTavish. Anderson lets the shot go, and Chason got back to block it up over the glass and out of play.
Here's one of the reasons right there why Glenn Anderson only has 16 goals. He's played in 71 of the 72 Oiler games, but only 16 goals. And Anderson, of course, is used in much bigger numbers than that. Last year he had 38 goals and 88 points. He's had 30 goals plus 8 years in his NHL career, 4 times over 40 and 2 times over 50. But this time he waits too long, and he's been doing a lot of that this year. It's a 3-on-1 actually. Waits too long. Chason gets a stick in there. No shot at all.
Face off just inside the circle there to the right of Steppen in the Red Wing zone. Yzerman steps in across from McTavish.
You can bet they're going to be looking, Dave, for Glenn Anderson to have his season starting April the 6th and 7th in the playoffs. They're going to want him to have a big playoff. That'll make up for an off year.
Now, remember a few years back, Clark Gillies, when he was struggling one year, just had a tremendous playoff for the Islanders. People very quickly forgot about the low totals in the regular season. Here comes Anderson now. Plays it up on the right wing looking for Messier, and it's deflected by Chason up over the glass and out of play.
There's a guy that's had a lot of pressure put on him. Mark Messier, with Gretzky leaving, of course. Messier becoming the captain. His numbers are not Mark Messier type numbers either, with 80 points on 29 goals. And Messier has scored 50 goals before in his career, had over 100 points, won the Conn Smythe. But with Wayne leaving, I think Gretzky leaving affected Mark Messier more than anybody on the hockey club. He was actually a holdout for a short period of time in training camp. He was very, very upset that that whole deal was made.
Curry's pass across now, taken away by Dave Barr. Now it's center ice. Oates drops it back. Norwood could not control. Hallward starts it back now for the Oilers. Taken by Huda back inside his own line. Doug Huda plays it ahead. Hallward able to clear it back the other way. Curry again carries into the wing zone, gives it to Tikkanen. Back now for Hallward, who was joining the play. He couldn't get a shot away.
Oates did a good job to get back and break that up.
Dave Barr doing some forechecking now. Randy Gregg checked there by Klima. Oates will get to the loose puck in the corner. Now Tikkanen and Barr battle for it. Barr able to dig it loose, looking in front for Klima. The pass did not get through. Now Oates in the circle. Back for Barr. Drops it for Klima. Lets the shot go, and a save by Ranford.
Got to be a penalty there. No call. Bob Hall right there, too. Randy Gregg hauls down Klima.
DeLorme sends it around. Yari Curry there for the Oilers. Wings getting some pressure here in the Edmonton zone, and now Curry backhands it the other way to center ice.
Two-line pass.
That'll be a two-line pass as Hunter touches up. 12:27 to go. First period, no score.
Good action by Oates, Klima, and Barr again as they team up with some pretty passing. And Klima held it, pulled it, and then finally snapped it. Ranford made the save on the short side. Toy Robertson is all over Simpson, grabbing him, taking a piece of him, trying to get him off this game.
Now Lacombe, his pass picked off by Robertson, but it's taken back by Janssen. Lays it up into the Detroit zone. O'Connell is there, banks it off the boards, and Burr able to clear. Koser after it, pushes it ahead. It hit the skate of Bob Hall, and that forced the play offside. Classic moments and thrilling action. That's what you'll see with We're For Real, the story behind the 1987-88 Red Wings. A must for every sports enthusiast. We're For Real will make the perfect addition to your video library. Available on VHS or Beta. Order now by calling 567-7500. Operators are on duty to accept your Visa or MasterCard orders. 567-7500. Pass ahead now. Sean Bird tips it into the Edmonton zone. Ranford drops it back for Huddy. Now for Simpson. His pass right up the middle goes through the Detroit point men. And that is touched for an icing call.
To remind the folks, Dave, of a couple of things going on tomorrow night. Number one, at Cobo Arena, we've got the first round action in NIT, Michigan State University versus Kent State, 8 o'clock at Cobo. Tickets on sale at your Ticketmaster outlet, Joe Louis Arena, and at the Cobo box office right before the game.
Also, too, a special way to purchase tickets. If you're a Red Wings season ticket holder, you can call that 567-7500 number and charge your ticket for tomorrow night's game, and that number will be available right up till 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's Michigan State and Kent State at Cobo Arena. First round NIT action. Wings control the draw. Zambo shot blocked by Messier. Wings hold it in. Now Ranford gave it off to Lowe. Now it's stolen by Burr. Burr sends it off the boards to the point for Zambo. He sends it across. Robertson will play it. Torrey Robertson backhands and he scores! Torrey Robertson with a backhander. He was actually trying to pass the puck in front. And Mick, during the warm-up, you said Torrey Robertson's going to score a goal tonight. I gave you a funny look, but he certainly did it.
He was finding the net on Greg Steffen in the warm-up. You know, he tried to get this one to Burr. I think it went off the Oiler defenseman. Deflected up high and in behind Ranford. Zambo had nowhere to go. He banked it off Jiffy Lube in the corner to the right of Ranford. And Robertson gets his third of the year, and the Wings are out in front 1-0. I was watching him shoot on Steffen before, and boy, everything he shot was going in the net.
8:27 the time of the goal. Robertson's third of the year, his first as a Red Wing from Zambo and Burr.
I liked your look right there when the puck went in the net, too. Oh, my goodness. That's good.
Kevin Lowe now for the Oilers, sends it ahead for McTavish. McTavish chased on right up to challenge him. Zambo pushes it back. Yzerman could not control the pass. Now Messier for the Oilers for Anderson. Anderson. Now Messier pulls up. He lost his footing. Jason moves it ahead to Yzerman. Yzerman across the line, one-on-one against Hallward. Peels back. Yzerman, couple of head shoulder fakes. Now he's taken down and no penalty called. Jacques Demers is up on the bench. I mean, that's got to be a penalty. He took away a scoring chance.
Maybe Jock didn't get into Hall's ear enough last night after what he thought was the lack of non-calls.
Here's Curry with a chance, and that was deflected wide of Steffen. Vancouver had 9 power plays last night against the Red Wings. Almost a full period of hockey. The Red Wings played shorthanded. And Bob Hall here doing the game again tonight. And that looked like a call that should have been made. Here comes Norwood now for Chris King. Sends it toward the net. Deflected. Oh, and it went just wide of Brantford.
He thought it was in.
Well, he knew it was past him. And now Norwood backhands it ahead. And it's taken away by Huddy of the Oilers. He flips it back into the Detroit zone. Chris King with an extra hit on Huddy. And they have some words. Huddy unable to hold that in. Down into the Edmonton zone. Brantford out of the net. Now Janssen plays it up the boards. Curry. Nice little move there. Moves it across for Huddy, number 22. Huddy, long shot, Steffen the save. Rebound came right back behind Steffen. O'Connell able to clear the zone. Red Wings leading 1-0 on Torrey Robertson's first goal as a Red Wing. His third of the season. Bookberger checked by O'Connell. Now Brown is there as well for the Oilers. Shabbat takes a look, sends it ahead now for Dave Barr. Barr drives it in wide of the Oilers net. It's taken by McClellan. Kevin McClellan off for Bookberger.
Watch for King and Brown. They're playing opposite each other.
Brown shot deflected up over the glass and out of play. 8:41 remaining here in the first period. Wings leading 1-0.
Wings with a couple of scoring chances here. Boy, they got a couple of breaks with deflections. Right there, King blows it off Charlie Huddy. That may have caught the outside of the right goalpost to Ransford's right.
Here's Mooney now from the point. Steffen steers that aside. Now Lacombe checked by Chason. Simpson comes over for the Oilers. He digs it loose off the board. Simpson, backhand shot blocked over the glass and out of play.
Ricky Zombo again strong defensively in front of his goaltender. That time Steffen, or Simpson rather, slipped it by him the first time, but he came back to cover up on it. Also tomorrow night I want to remind the folks there's a benefit hockey game for Drug Abuse Resistant Education Program, the DARE program, Livonia Police and Oakwood Hospital. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at the Eddie Edgar Arena in Livonia.
Center ice now, Lowe. Got there ahead of Oates. Kevin Lowe sends it across. Barr got a stick on that. Comes back to Lowe, plays it ahead. Sambo intercepts. Now Chase on ahead all the way into the Red Wing zone. Or rather into the Oilers zone. They waved off the icing that I thought they were going to call against the Wings. Now at the right point, Sambo holds it in. Sends it back to the corner for Oates. Oates checked there by Muni. Oates back along the boards again. Barr comes over to help out. He gets it loose. And Sambo has to bring it back outside the zone to get control. Here's Kleeman. Head of steam, drops it for Barr. Lets the shot go. It's in the glove of Ranford. And he gets a whistle there from Bob Hall with 7:39 to go in the first. A goal by Torrey Robertson has the Wings in front. 1-0. Face-off to the left of Ranford here. And I think Mitten, the linesman, wants to throw Yzerman out of the face-off circle. And he can't figure out why. I'm not sure either. He never made a move like he was going to drop the puck.
You often see players anticipating. The visiting team has to get their stick down in that face-off circle first.
Tavish won the draw. Back for Hallward. Now Messier sends it center ice. Huda back to recover. He bangs it off the glass. Hallward again. Plays it into the Red Wing zone. Knocked down by Huda. Good second effort to get it across the line because Messier was right there. Anderson having some problems handling the puck. Circles back to get control. 7:15 remaining. First period, 1-0 Red Wings. Messier plays it ahead. Gallant knocks it down.
Oh, it's touched. It's all right.
Yzerman's onside.
Got to cut quickly.
Lets the shot go. Score! Steve Yzerman from a tough angle beats Ranford up high, as 62nd of the year, and it's 2-0 Detroit.
Oh, boy. I'm going to tell you. There's only one place to score a goal, and that's where Yzerman put it. Top shelf, right next to the goaltender's arm. And look at the angle that he was at. Next to impossible, but not impossible. Onside the play was, because it was touched by an Oiler at center ice. Gallant will get an assist. And Yzerman is getting more and more to like that top shelf. I was talking to him today, Dave. We were standing in the lobby coming to the game and asked him about the breakaway last night. And he said, you know, if I put it up there, most of the guys are not going to be able to get it if I put it where I want it, and that's exactly true.
Torrey Robertson's going to get the first penalty of the hockey game for a check he
Offside Oilers.
leveled on Glenn Anderson. And Hall.
The jock is upset again. Way to go, Bobby. He says he's going to hear it from him all night long. Back with the Oiler power play after this.
Torrey Robertson off for boarding at 12:15. Oilers get the first power play opportunity of the hockey game. Reminder that you're watching tonight's Red Wing action here on WKBD. TV 50, your place for sports and your place for that kind of action, and that's why Robertson.
That wasn't much of a penalty call. No, look at that in the replay. I didn't see it originally. No idea until you said there was a penalty in process of being called. Very weak call by Bob Hall.
13th overall in the NHL, the Oiler power play at 20.6%. And here comes Yzerman. Couldn't quite control it. He had Norwood moving up with him, too. Tomas Janssen now back inside his own zone. Janssen and Huddy playing the points on the power play. Now the Oilers look a little bit disorganized, Mick.
They do. The crowd letting them know it.
Janssen gives it off now to Messier. He'll drive it up the boards in behind Steffen. Now Sambo wristing it around. Nice play by Burr, but just out of the reach of Shabbat. Shabbat will chase Janssen back there. Janssen moves it to Curry. Out to center ice now for Simpson. Drop pass. And Shabbat tips that away. 45 seconds left in the penalty to Torrey Robertson. 2-0. Red Wings in front as Curry plays it across the Red Wing zone. O'Connell plays it up the boards. Burr got it by Teakin, and here is Yzerman one-on-one against Gregg. What a move. Yzerman is in and couldn't quite get the backhander away.
Penalty? Oh my goodness. Now here's a makeup call. I didn't think Randy Gregg grabbed a hold of Yzerman, but the call is made. 28 seconds left in the Robertson penalty, and Gregg heads to the box. Yzerman with some good speed decided to challenge one-on-one with Gregg. Let's have a look. Did he grab him? What did he do?
The Oilers penalty to number 21, Randy Gregg.
Not much.
2 minutes for holding. The time 14 minutes 47 seconds.
He had the right arm around the front end of him. He just barely touched him on the back end and draws the penalty call.
Well, that's got to be just a nightmare for a defenseman.
Yeah. You know, the teams will practice one-on-one, and it's the most boring drill in practice, one-on-one, because you're not supposed to beat a guy one-on-one. The forward is at a complete disadvantage in most cases. But when you get into a game, of course, different things happen. You get people going different directions. They don't get time to just sit back there and say, okay, come on at me. They're maybe going the other way just a hair, and it gives the skater, the puck carrier, a little bit of an advantage sometimes. Or you go wide and force them maybe to take a penalty on you. And Yzerman will do that 9 out of 10 times. He'll challenge rather than shoot. Of course, that's not a bad way to do it either. Use him as a screen and just blow it at the goaltender.
Still 4 skaters aside for another 15 seconds before Robertson comes out of the box for the Wings. Drop pass for McTavish. Moves in. A shot was saved by Steffen. Big rebound. Tikkanen tried to center it. It's tipped out center ice. Race for the puck here. And McTavish got back to knock it away from Gallant.
Hey, that was really well set up by the Oilers that time. They took nothing and turned it into something. They got a great scoring chance.
Robertson back out of the box. He'll go to the bench. Be replaced now by Paul McLean as the Wings start the power play. Gallant tried to move in. Lowe sent it to the corner. Evan Lowe plays it to the line, and Chason played it back in offside. So the Red Wings with a minute 13 left on this power play opportunity. Why wait until 11 for the latest news? You can get the day's news an hour earlier when you tune in to TV 50's 10 o'clock news. Roger McCoy and Amir Jacobson have the top stories. Randy Berto has a complete weather forecast, and Ray Lane brings you all the sports. Weeknights, the 10 o'clock news on WKBD TV 50. A good hour ahead. Stay with us here in our first intermission and second intermission. We'll have a short newscast to update you on everything that's happening.
Well, you know, I got a couple of messages I got to get in and two before so much time gets by. What do we, hand pass? Let me get right to that right now, in case we got something else. Now, Glenn Hanlon, who played an outstanding hockey game last night, asked me before the game, you know, I've always known, Dave, the goaltenders kind of had their own union. They were a little bit different kind of guys. Hanlon had a request, and he said, if you can ask my wife, Louise, and I hope you're listening, Louise, right now, Glenn does not know your own home phone number.
He's been trying to call on this long road trip and hasn't been able to get through.
And let me explain to the folks a little bit. He's not that bad. He's a pretty smart guy, actually, but I guess they have changed their phone number, and Glenn can't remember, and he wants to phone and talk to his wife. So, Louise, please call Glenn after the game at the hotel here in Edmonton. He said, I know you're going to get me with this one, Mick, but I got to get you to do it, because I can't remember the number.
Jason fires it around.
I told him I don't feel bad. I've done the same thing.
Now the Oilers, ever dangerous when they're shorthanded. They have the best penalty killing in the league, just over 83%. And the Oilers lead the National Hockey League with 25 shorthanded goals.
You know what I might throw in there? I'm sure that many, if not all, of the wives are watching the game tonight. And at least one of them knows how to get a hold of Louise. Maybe they can call her and make sure she gets the message.
Rampert covers up on Gallant's opportunity there. Bill Rampert. And we mentioned a surprise starter tonight as Graham Fuhrer, he does most years here, handles the bulk of the goaltending. Rampert last played on the 8th of March against Hartford in a 7-3 loss. That's the only game he has started out of the last 12.
Also have a birthday wish for Tim Higgins' wife, Jane. Timmy said to me before the game, 24, Mick, tomorrow. Again. Happy birthday, Jane.
To the left of Rampert. 20 seconds left on the power play. Norwood did not hold it in. It came outside the line. And so the faceoff has to come back in the center ice area. You know, we were talking about the Michigan State NIT game tomorrow night at Cobo Arena. How about the story we heard out of Detroit with Bill Frieder?
Yeah, right.
University of Michigan apparently going to Arizona State right before the Wolverines start their NCAA tournament schedule. I think they play, what, Saturday down in Atlanta?
Not sure where they're at, but I saw that on CNN there in Vancouver, although I know there was supposed to be a press conference this morning. I'm sure the Detroit folks have gotten the lowdown on that by now, and we'll wait till tomorrow to get back home.
Rampert out of the net to deflect it away. Kevin Lowe plays it off the boards. Tikkanen did not clear. Barr holds it in. Centering pass went right through Klima. Comes to Norwood. Penalty has expired. Here is Huda. Lets the shot go. Tipped by Barr just wide. Eiserman a chance and a poke check by Rampert. Knocked it away before the Red Wing captain could go to the backhand. Tikkanen across the line. Let's go the wrist shot. Missed it wide. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the first period. Tikkanen holds it in, but it's taken away by Norwood. Here's Klima up the left side. He goes wide on Hallward. Nowhere to go with it. Sends it back to Norwood. Norwood just plays it back along the boards. Barr behind the net was tied up. Burr tried to center it. Rampert knocks it away. Burr again drops it back. Here's Klima. Klima along the boards. Leaves it there for Huda. Now it's knocked away by Simpson, but Huda has it again. Simpson with a couple of slashes. Huda dumps it toward the net. Backhand by Burr is stopped, and Hallward able to clear the zone. Here comes Norman Lacombe up the right side, and he just was knocked off stride there by Norwood as he tried to make the move. Red Wings with an 11-4 shot advantage and a 2-0 lead. Doesn't happen very often in this building. Here's Chris King now, dumping it back in behind the Oiler net. Janssen for the Oilers, number 23. Plays it ahead to the left of Steffen. Chiasson bumped hard there. Burr with a hit on the Oiler player. That was Carson that he gave the shot to. Now Carson again is checked, and Chris King will work it out through center ice. Higgins skating hard after Charlie Huddy. Huddy able to work it to Carson. Carson bumped by King. Boy, the Red Wings must be under instructions to hit Jimmy Carson every time they have the opportunity. Here he comes again, and King will follow through with another hit on Carson.
King hits everything in sight, though, anytime he's out there, no matter who they're playing and who it is.
Good job by Anderson checking Chiasson. Tombo back to get it. Now the Oilers start to pick up the forechecking a little bit. Chiasson up the middle, tried to hit Chabot. It was knocked away. Muni plays it back for Messier. Less than a minute remaining in the first period.
Look at the wings shutting the middle down. Shutting the middle right down.
Here comes Chabot into the Oilers zone. Lets the shot go. Blocked by Muni. Now Muni holding Chabot away from that rebound. And it's back the other way. Glenn Anderson. His pass doesn't connect, though. O'Connell's pass knocked down by Anderson. Sends it across for Messier. Torrey Robertson is there to pick it off. Ranford out of the net. Oilers working ahead now. This is Hunter. Hunter through center ice, gives it off to Tikkanen. Tikkanen pushed to the ice by Norwood. And Robertson gives it back to Norwood. Norwood checked by Hunter from behind. 10 seconds left in the period. Center ice, this is Curry. Now Hunter again, lost control. And that'll do it. Excellent first period for the Detroit Red Wings, outshooting the Oilers 11-4 and leading by a score of 2-0. Stay with us as we start off our first intermission activities with a special edition of the TV 50 10 o'clock news. We'll have that plus highlights in our first intermission right after this. Back live at the Northlands Coliseum, Red Wings leading the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 2-0. And I guess as we walk down the press row here, Mick, you get a real lesson in perspective. It all depends on what eyes you're looking through. The Red Wing people with smiles on their faces, good period, a lot of jump. They lead 2-0. They've outshot the Oilers 11-4. And anybody associated with the Oilers walking around shaking their heads going, boy, were we flat. But, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Somebody's got to make you look flat. And the Red Wings did play a pretty good period. And as you pointed out, they really did shut down the middle of the ice.
They did. I think that, you know, to respond to your first statement, if there was any question that the fans here and I guess media and everybody else, TV and radio, were spoiled with this hockey club the last several years and all the Stanley Cups and everything else. And sure, they're not what they were and what have you, but, you know, that's life, and you can't always be number one, I guess. But nevertheless, the Red Wings did shut down the middle of the ice. They took down, when you hold an Oilers scoring team, and I don't care if they got Gretzky or not, they still got Messier, Anderson, Simpson, Carson, and Curry go on. 4 shots on goal is unbelievable to hold that Oiler team, too. Sure, they may be a little flat, but the Red Wings didn't allow them to get anything going through the middle ice area and really set anything up and get any real good pops at Stefan. Maybe 1 or 2. McTavish had a good one, but that's good checking, and that's what you have to do. Very much like the way the Red Wings will play in the playoffs. They'll play bump and grind hockey, hit when they can, take the middle of the way, and just try to get their opportunities when they can around the net.
Let's take a look at the first goal of the hockey game. And, Mick, if you could have gotten some money down, you'd have gotten some great odds on Torrey Robertson scoring his first goal, but you predicted he'd score.
Well, he didn't score it the way he was shooting him in the warm-up, that's for sure. But nevertheless, sometimes those signs are signs of things to come. And indeed, it happened for Robinson as he just tried to dump the puck in front. It hit the Oiler defenseman, it looked like, and ricocheted right up into the top corner with Ranford. But, hey, a lot of 50 and 60 goal scorers get funny goals like that too, so Robertson will take it his 3rd of the year.
Well, we have a 60-goal scorer that didn't get a funny one. He put this one right where he wanted to, right up high again on a semi-breakaway.
More and more, he is going to that spot in the top corner where the goaltender can only be in one of 2 places. Either he's got his trapper down by his side or up beside his arm, and most of the time you see Ranford with the whiplash trying to get up there. There's no way a goaltender can get up there and protect that high corner. If you put the puck, if Yzerman puts it where he wants it with the way he can shoot a puck, there's no way in the world a goalie's going to stop it. That's 2 and 2 nights for him.
2-0 in favor of the Red Wings. Let's go now to our Little Caesar player of tomorrow and tonight, a young man by the name of Eric Anderson. Back at the Northlands Coliseum, Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond. Glad you're with us here on TV 50. Second period action about to begin. Red Wings leading the Oilers 2-0 on goals by Torrey Robertson and that man, Steve Yzerman, going top shelf for his 62nd of the year as he continues to add to the records that he already has set this year for goals, assists, and points by a Red Wing in a single season. Jacques Demers, you know, last night, Mick, we were talking about Jacques seeming to go more to the 3-line and even 4-line system and giving Yzerman a little bit of rest. He played a lot of hockey against Toronto on Saturday night.
Yes, he did. Well, as we wind down here, and of course, only a couple of weeks to go, what, 2.5, 3 weeks left in the season, and that advantage now is 10 points as the Blues won last night 3-2 over Chicago, and of course Detroit tying Vancouver. So both teams with 9 to play coming into tonight, and a 10-point advantage. As that goes along, you'll see more and more, I think, of the 3 and 4 lines and resting some of the people that have played a lot and some of the veteran players.
Norwood back in his own zone, plays it ahead. Robertson checked by McClellan in front of the Edmonton bench, and now the gathering of the clan. For now, just a discussion of
Koster and Dave Brown know each other quite well. And you see this line we talked about, Brown, McClellan, and Buchberger. Tough line for the Oilers.
I don't think there's any question, Mick, that the trade to acquire Brown was made directly because of a couple of acquisitions the LA Kings made, getting Jay Miller.
Right.
Of course, they've already got Marty McSorley, the former Oiler.
Plus Baumgartner.
Norwood deep in his own zone. Plays it around for Robertson. He's got Burr up the middle, but goes the other way for Koster on the right wing. Koster across the line. Holds up, lets the shot go. And McClellan now able to work it out center ice. Now Brown goes down underneath Sean Burr right in front of the Red Wings bench.
Brown, he wants to get Burr.
Here comes Koster. Koster lets the shot go. Wings will hold it in. Here's Norwood. Lets the shot go. It went wide of Rampart. Now here comes Huda. Huda's shot is blocked. Robertson able to hold it in. Back in the corner now. Huddy plays it up the board. McClellan checking Robertson. He's got the headlock on him. They'll hold it there. They get the whistle from Bob Hall and Robertson.
These guys will toy with each other, Dave, is what they do. They're all tough guys, and they can fight anytime they want, really. They just kind of toy with each other. Sometimes they're not in the mood to go. Sometimes it's best for other players who don't care to fight as much as guys like that to let them alone. Just let them lay. Don't get them upset.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Former Red Wing Dougie Hallward. With some kind words really today on a sportscast here in Edmonton. They asked him about the Red Wing team, and basically, as that thing is up into the stands again, basically he said you got to give them a lot of credit. They've had a pretty darn good season in spite of all the off-ice problems that have distracted from a team's thinking in a consistent way and a positive way. So he said, I think they've had a heck of a year with given all of the distractions that have happened to this hockey club.
Chabot on the face-off. Wins it, but it's taken away by Simpson. Ahead now for Anderson. Anderson across the line, lets the shot go wide of Steppen. Greg Muni now at the point. Sends it along the boards, in for Anderson. Glenn Anderson being watched by O'Connell. Steppen out of the net. Simpson ran into him. And it's cleared ahead now for Higgins. Tim Higgins trying to go wide on Kevin Lowe. Takes it to the corner. Now rolls it out off the boards. Taken by O'Connell. He lets the shot go. And it was deflected wide of Ranford. Messier drops it back for Anderson. Anderson plays it out center ice. Now O'Connell got a piece of it. It's batted out of the air by Simpson. Steppen leaves it there for Gilbert Delorme. Up the middle now for Higgins. Higgins across the line. Backhands it to the corner. King going in along the end boards. Janssen worked it away for the Oilers to Curry. Pass up the middle. They try to hit Carson, but Zambo was there. Quickly back the other way. Chabot rolled it back in behind the Edmonton net. 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second period. Red Wings 2 and Edmonton nothing. Curry now, number 17 for the Oilers, across the line for Carson, and it's offside. We'll take a break. Early second period with the Wings up by 2. Greg Steppen hasn't had great luck in regular season play over his career against the Edmonton Oilers. 1-8.
Of course, over the past 6 years, not many goaltenders have.
And that includes, of course, the very lean years with the Red Wings when the Oilers were really at their peak. Carson across the line. Chason checked him. Zambo didn't get it past Curry. Steppen out of the net, left it there. Nearly got crossed up with Chason. Chason plays it up the boards. Now Gallant able to work it out center ice. Huddy back inside his own zone. Sends it across for Janssen. Johnson, who played, of course, on a couple of those Islander Stanley Cup teams. Charlie Huddy flips it back in wide of Steffen. Taken there by Chason. Taken away by Curry. They couldn't find anybody to pass to, and Yzerman makes a little move to pull it away from Carson. Now to Chason. That play offside, and the whistle will blow as McLean touches it. Face-off will come back. Center ice. Chuck Daly and the Pistons are gearing up for a sensational NBA battle when they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Live from Milwaukee Saturday at 9 here on TV 50. Pistons are neck and neck with the Cleveland Cavaliers down the stretch. Every game is critical in this must-win situation. Don't miss the Pistons and Bucks live Saturday night at 9 here on TV 50, your place for sport.
They not go, what, half a game up on Cleveland with that win in Indianapolis the other night?
Well, I know they're one better in the loss column. I think Cleveland has a couple of more wins. So, yes, percentage points.
I think it's 1-1. They got one more win, and Detroit has one less loss.
Barr plays it ahead for Oates across the line, and they say Klima dragged that back skate across the line in the zone ahead of the puck. Adam Oates, who had one of the 2 goals last night in that 2-2 tie at Vancouver, his 16th of the year. See what Oates has done so far. The 68 points coming in 60 games. A couple of birthday wishes, Mick. A happy 71st birthday today to Dick DiMartini. Nick DiMartini, 71 years old today. And a happy birthday to Bev Ostrom down at the Joe Louis Arena. I think she's also 24 today. Huda now sends it in behind Ranford. He couldn't stop it. Barr checked there. Hunter for the Oilers, able to work it off the boards. Sends it across for Lacombe. Normand Lacombe checked by Norwood. Now here's McTavish waiting for the late man coming in. Barr had his man covered. Here comes the late 3-on-2. Norwood has Klima with him. Klima was holding up because he would have been offside. And then Norwood let the pass go. Now here comes Norwood with a blasted tie off the glass. And Hunter for the Oilers getting control.
Look at the wings swarming. Check, check, check. That's what got the Oilers kind of all screwed up right now.
It looked like it was offside, but they say that Norwood kept it in. Now a poke check by Ranford prevented Klima from getting a chance. Here's Oates, takes a look, sends it across, tried to find Huda. Huda will hustle back to hold it in. Plays it to the corner. McTavish is there. McTavish right out in front of his own net. Plays it back now for Hallworth. No icing here as Huda will go back after it. Up the right wing side, Oates. Sent it across. It was batted out of the air by Simpson. Recovered by Muni. Glenn Anderson plays it ahead for Simpson. He's got Messier with him. Simpson to Messier. Back for Simpson. He scores! Great two-way passing play. And it's 2-1 Red Wings.
Sure was. Wings kind of got caught there. Norwood was the only guy back. See how that developed. There was 3 checkers up front. Simpson came right off the Edmonton bench on a chain over to Messier, and as Norwood slid by, he dumped it back to number 18, Simpson, and bang, he just deposited it in the open net. And it's 2-1 hockey game.
Messier and Anderson draw the assist at 5:17 of the second period on Simpson's 34th of the year. Hookberger checked there by Robertson. Now Kevin Lowe plays it around. Hookberger in his own zone, plays it ahead now for McClellan. McClellan across the line. Little drop pass. Here comes Muni. He scored!
Muni beat Steffen low on the ice between the pads, I think. Kevin McClellan really had a burst of speed up the middle. He dropped it there. As you see Muni move up to make it a 3-on-2. Yeah, right between the pads. Right on the ice. And as O'Connell poke checked McClellan, it went right to Muni as he followed it up to make it a 3-on-2. And bang, we got a 2-2 game within seconds. actually 22 seconds apart, those goals.
Mullen and Bookberger draw the assists on the goal by Muni at 5:39. And we've got a 2-2 hockey game. Here comes Anderson right back. Couldn't get his shot away. He was checked by Chason. Messier held up there by McLean, and back comes Gerard Gallant. Anderson just mugged Yzerman.
Simpson got it at the other end. And there goes Steffen after Simpson. Look out.
You know, Simpson, he got Steffen in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
I didn't see what he did. Simpson got really nailed back behind Steffen. And I'm not sure whether it was Steffen or a defenseman that nailed him. And then I think he must have taken a piece of Steffen as he came back up the ice.
Remember, there was a collision a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and everybody gave Simpson the benefit of the doubt because on the replay it looked like he did accidentally hit Steffen. But since then, Simpson has gotten a reputation for running into goaltenders, and he makes it look awfully good. But Steffen will remember that.
Well,
but Yzerman was absolutely tackled by Glenn Anderson.
Simpson may get a reminder the next time he goes close to the crease and close to that big Louisville that Steffen carries in his blocker hand.
Kevin Lowe sends it across now for Muni.
Eaten up quick here.
Oilers still a very explosive team, as they proved with the 2 goals there in just 22 seconds. That puck hit Hall as the Wings were trying to clear it. Now McLean does work at center ice, but Janssen was there to step in front of Yzerman. Yzerman knocked that down. Chason gives it back to the Red Wing captain. Circles back into his own zone, gives it quickly to Zombo.
Yzerman pulled down again, this time by Messier.
Chason checked by Simpson in front of the Red Wing bench.
Chason drilled
Now
it.
Chason's going to get the penalty.
He's going to go, yeah.
Chason and Simpson got tied up. Chason finally had enough of it, threw him down, and now Chason will get the penalty. Glenn Anderson across the line on the delayed call. Oilers have the extra attacker on. Anderson crunched there by Huda. Finally, we get a break with 12:53 to go. Second period. Wings and the Oilers are tied at 2.
Chason off for tripping at 7:07. He just put the foot finally behind Simpson's skates, his arm in front of him, and he slammed him to the ice right in front of the Red Wing bench, and got the call from Bob Hall. But they had tangled before that, and the Oilers, after 2 straight goals, now have a chance here in the power play to take the lead.
Burr with a hit on Tikkanen. Tikkanen sends it in behind Steffen. Now Curry has it in the corner. Second Oiler power play. They did not convert on the first one. Janssen moves it to Curry, quickly to Tikkanen. Tikkanen. Good job controlling the puck. Fakes the shot, sends it back to Janssen. He'll let it go. Steffen will save it. Went behind him and out the far side. Just wide of the post. Curry in deep now for Carson. Out to Janssen.
They're going to move that puck.
Curry tried to just set up Carson for a deflection, and it went wide of the net. Janssen now to Tikkanen. In deep for Carson. Carson sends it back to Tikkanen. Tikkanen takes a look.
He wants to go to Carson.
He's got it. Backhanded just wide of the net.
Boy, they got to take that play away right there.
Zombo knocks it down. Got it to the line, and it's tipped out of there by Shabbat.
Carson's been in a bit of a goal-scoring slump the last 3 or 4 weeks. Right there, he normally would score from there.
Here is Carson now.
He got wrapped by Norwood.
It goes back to Tikkanen. Tikkanen to the line now for Janssen. Back to Tikkanen, top of the circle, fakes the shot, sends it back to Janssen. He'll let it go, and it's blocked by Burr. Huddy able to hold it in. It's back for Carson. Carson looks across, and it's tipped away by Shabbat. 25 seconds left in Chason's penalty. 11:15 to go, second period. 2-2 our score. Here's Messier wheeling around center ice. Carries into the Detroit zone. Gives it off to Carson. Gets it back. Janssen, a shot and a save by Steffen. John Burr wraps at it. Tied up by Shabbat. And an Edmonton player. Now Carson goes in deep for Messier. Curry back to Messier. Out of the box comes Chason, but the Oilers still with the pressure on. Out to the line. Huddy, a shot, they score! Tipped by Curry. And the Oilers kept the pressure on to make it 3-2.
That puck hit Greg Steffen in the blocker and went underneath him to the far side. I think it was Jimmy Carson, Dave, that may have got the deflection. We'll have to wait and see on the announcement. Carson and Curry were both in front. But I think Carson was the last guy to touch it, redirected the shot from the point. The Wings with 3 defensemen out there really never got reestablished after the penalty to chase on. And the Oilers have got the lead.
Huddy and Messier draw the assist on Carson's 46th at 9:17. Not a power play goal. So the Oilers with 3 goals. Here's a chance now, and Steffen a big save on Anderson. Oh, and it's right there at the goal line, and Steffen stops it. That was the first shot of the period that had not gone in the net. The Oilers had scored on their first 3 shots, and it's 3-2 Edmonton. We'll be back after this.
Craig Simpson back in the middle of things again. He gets dumped by Huda after the play. As Anderson breaks in, was checked by Chason and forced him to a bad angle. Once Anderson just chip it in behind Steffen, hit him in the back of the leg and roll right against the post. And Huda and Simpson get tied up again. I think the Red Wings are kind of fed up with some of the things that the Oilers have been doing as far as what you were discussing, where it's like, oh, I didn't mean to hit him type of thing.
Oilers have registered all 6 shots here in the second period. And it is a 3-2 Edmonton lead. They really have done most of their damage on that power play, even though they didn't score on it. Low shot is blocked by McLean. McLean trying to break loose. He has Gallant, but he couldn't get the pass through Muni. Here's McLean for Gallant again. And Anderson had him tied up. Centering pass tipped by Ranford.
That had to be offside by 3 feet. He let it go.
Wings Muni. And now Messier sends it ahead. A little pass for Anderson. On cross ice, it comes back to Greg Muni. Number 28. Deflected by Messier. Huda didn't get it out of there. Messier's pass intercepted by Huda. Sends it back now for Yzerman. Across the line. Yzerman goes right now, peels back, takes a look. Still controlling. Now Huda moves it across to Chason. Lets the shot go. He scores!
What a goal.
Chason with a bullet drive has tied the hockey game, and again it was the captain Yzerman controlling the puck that set it up.
He sure did. He just held on to it like he had it on a string, and he had a couple of Oilers follow it. See, he's got 2 of them right there, both out of position following him. Huda quickly to Chason. The Oilers had fell back in front of Ranford with Gallant and McLean in there, and Chason just rifled it by Ranford to tie the game at 3. Top of the circle, 40 feet. Boom. Barr and Gallant, rather, not McLean. It's a big goal for the Wings to get after getting 3 straight against them.
Huda and Yzerman assisting on Chason's 11th of the year. So the Wings score on their first shot of the period. It's 3-3. 9:22 remaining, second period.
A couple out-of-town scores. Only 2 other games tonight in the NHL now, both finals. Winnipeg Jets at the Rangers. Beat the Rangers in a big game for them, as the Rangers with a win could have tied Washington for first place, but Winnipeg beats them 6-3. And the Canadiens defeat LA at the Forum in Montreal. The Forum, that is, not the Forum in LA. 5-2.
Here is DeLorme with a shot. Ranford had to make the save. Oates knocked it away from Ranford. Sent it right out in front, and Klima was tied up there by Hallward. O'Connell back to get it. Plays it off the boards back into the Edmonton zone. Wings have tied the game at 3 after a 3-goal purge by the Oilers. And erased a 2-0 Detroit lead. Here comes Hunter. Let's say low shot go. Steffen kicked it aside. Dave Barr out of his own zone gives it off to Oates. Backhands on center ice. Klima was watched there by Janssen. And Lacombe back to get it. Norman Lacombe backhands at center ice. Hunter back the other way now for McTavish. McTavish sends it to the corner to the right of Steffen. Hunter tried to stuff it in, and Steffen just held his ground. Back for Chason trailing the play. Gives it off now to Oates into the zone, and on the right side, Barr was offside on the play.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Seaboard Seltzer Rider Hockey Shield.
Tomorrow night on the TV 50, 8 o'clock movie, a Maverick New York City cop is suspended from the police force but still pursues the brutal murder of his friend and partner based on a true story. Robert Duvall stars in the TV 50 premiere of Badge 373 tomorrow night at 8 on WKBD TV 50, your place for movies.
3-3 tie here, 8:18 to go, second period. Charlie Huddy, veteran defenseman for the Oilers, now in his 10th season. Signed as a free agent way back in 1979.
McTavish checked by Chason. Robertson and McClellan, watch the two of them as they started to go. Here is Sean Burr. He has to wait. Now he drives it into the Oilers zone. Bookberger checked there by Zombo. Chason back to get it. Plays it ahead for Robertson. Now Burr checked by 3 Oilers who were right there on him. Robertson drops it back for Chason. Ahead now for Koser. He's watched there by Huddy. Now the puck comes loose for Janssen across the line. Tried to send it across. It was deflected over the glass out of play. You know, you talk about those out-of-town scores, a couple of points to make. With LA losing, of course, that's of great interest to this Edmonton team.
Right.
Because they know now that they can tie the Kings for second place. And with Montreal winning, that gives them, again, the top spot overall in the NHL, 2 points ahead of Calgary.
And also, it keeps LA at 80 points. And if the Red Wings can come out of here with 2 points tonight, they go to 76. As the meeting of the clan continued. We got Bookberger and Koser. Look out. This was brewing. This was brewing.
Bookberger leads this Edmonton team in penalty minutes. Koser, of course, no stranger to this.
He'll go to the left hand right in a minute. Here he goes. He had the right all tied up, but Koser goes to the left. Look at him with that left. He's just about as dangerous with that one as he is with the right. And if that right ever gets loose, look out. Koser's dad, Joe Sr., is in the crowd tonight. He's here from Joey's hometown. Came in for the game. And Bookberger and Koser take a few rounds out of each other, and they'll go sit down for 5 minutes and cool it. That thing was brewing right from the face-off, and there may be more to come later on. 7:32 to go, 3-3 game. Now, those two guys look kind of calm and collected over there now, but they weren't a moment ago.
Chris King now drops it back. Norwood plays it center ice for Shabbat. Backhands it into the Oilers zone. 7:20 remaining here in the second period. 3-3 our score. Here's King deep in the Oilers zone. Looks to jam it at the side of the net. Here's Shabbat. Right in front. He was looking for Higgins, and Ranford tipped it away, and then Higgins was dumped by Kevin Lowe. Back comes Messier. He waits for the late man. Now he drops it off the boards. Muni gives it off to Anderson. Anderson has checked it, comes to Muni, lets the shot go, and it was deflected just out of Messier's reach. Oilers hold it in. Norwood will get there first. Clears it center ice. Shabbat is there. Plays it up the right wing side for Higgins. That's tipped away by Kevin Lowe. Messier checked by King. Well, the Oilers get it center ice. Anderson backhands it wide of Steffen. Taken by Zombo. Up the right side now for Paul McLean. Sends it into the Edmonton zone. Dr. Randy Gregg knocks it down, clears it out. Now Zombo plays it in behind Ranford.
Curry is down, was hit at center ice. Behind the play. I didn't see who hit him, but boy, does he ever look like he's in pain.
Looks like his left knee.
Yeah, Sather's up on the bench.
It may have been Chris King. I'm only guessing because King was very quietly going to the bench.
I didn't see it because the play was down in the Oilers zone. It was following the puck, and all of a sudden the whistle went, and the crowd reacted.
bet that the Oilers holding their breath with Jari Kurri down on the ice. What a season he is having with 39 goals and 92 points. And a lot of people, including some experts, felt that Jari Kurri would not be able to produce those kind of numbers with number 99 no longer in an Edmonton uniform. But Kurri has proved a lot of people wrong, and we certainly hope that he is all right as he's being attended to by the trainer. So with 6:17 to go and a bit of a delay here, we'll take a timeout. 3-3.
Jari Kurri has sat down on the bench to begin with, and then they now are taking him back underneath to the Oiler dressing room, and Greg Steffen getting pelted with some programs at the other end.
Greg hasn't had much time to do any reading, much less here in the second period, the way the Oilers have been coming at him. Face off to the right of the Edmonton net. Kurri went down toward the Edmonton dressing room, but he was walking under his own power.
More like the wind was knocked out of him at the very least. Came off. He didn't seem to be favoring the leg as it looked when he was laying down.
Here is Tikkanen deep in his own zone. Takes a look, sends it across for Gray. Up the right side for Lacombe. Now back to get it to Zambo.
He is checked. This thing, I'm going to tell you something. This game is going to be very, very physical throughout. Now,
McLean shot was blocked, deflected in front, recovered by Normand Lacombe. He sends it back the other way. Nice outlet pass to get it to Hunter. Checked there by Zambo. Randy Gregg follows the play, gets it back to Hunter. Gallant and Hunter battling along the boards. Now Chason plays it up the boards. Yzerman able to tip it back through center ice into the Edmonton zone. Lacombe has it there. Prosper Huddy. Now it's taken away by Yzerman. Gives it off to Gallant. Gallant takes a look. Johnson stays with Yzerman. Now it goes to O'Connell. O'Connell drops it back for Gallant. He's open. Lets it go. Ran for the save.
Stayed right there.
Away.
See that thing stick to his goal stick? That's strange. Whoa, a couple of miscues. What do we got? Detroit penalty behind the play? I believe so, because the whistle went when they touched the puck, and it may be Yzerman. We'll find out when we come back. 3-3 game.
Not a familiar spot for the Red Wing captain in the penalty box. He's off for tripping, as there were a couple of miscues out of the Edmonton blue line. Oilers looked like they were going to get it out. Then the Wings looked like they were going to hold it in. And finally the Wings did hold it in. And as they were trying to move in, the whistle blew and Yzerman goes off for tripping. Third Oiler power play of the night. Boy, was Simpson ever racked up by Higgins. And Simpson, I think, is going to feel it from a lot of the Red Wings, just based on whatever happened down at the other end with Steffen. Say one thing for Simpson, though. He takes a lot of abuse, and he stays in there and just keeps scoring goals.
Yes,
he really was effective against the Red Wings in the playoffs last year. He scored some big, big goals in that Campbell Conference Final. Remember the one that Simpson scored in here? I think it was Game 5. Right off the bat, he knocked the puck right out of midair.
Yeah, the deflection.
Messier sends it back. Huddy, a shot. They score! Simpson was in front, setting the screen. I don't know whether he touched it, but it's a power play goal, and the Oilers lead it 4-3.
Yzerman still after Bob Hall. He's really giving it to him. It looked like this thing went all the way. There's Simpson in front. Zambo's got to go out there. I don't know if Simpson may have gotten a piece of it or not, but it very much like the chase-on goal looked to go in straight from the stick of the defenseman. Second of the game. They are giving it at this point to Craig Simpson.
That'd be his second of the night, 35th of the year. Ahead now for Barr. Klima, he's being tied up by Janssen. Now Barr in the corner, checked by Huddy. Here comes Oates. Sends it back to the point. O'Connell sends it back in deep. Chason comes in from the left point.
Curry's back out there.
It is Simpson from Huddy and Messier. Wings right now, Mick, need to have this line get something going.
Yeah, they do.
Especially Klima. Oates now breaks loose from Tikkanen's check, moves it to Barr. Bar for O'Connell. And it's picked off now by Curry. He's got Carson up the middle on a breakaway. Carson is in. Saved by Steffen as O'Connell was just able to bother Carson enough. And a big save there by Steffen with just 3.5 remaining in the second period. Now Howard in his own zone drops it back. Randy Gregg. Now for Curry up the right side. Ooh, Curry took Huda down. Now Curry again. Yzerman knocks it away. Gallant will clear. Here's Norwood ahead for Yzerman. Yzerman couldn't quite control it. He had a bar coming up the right side. Driven around the boards by Norwood. Now taken by McClellan. McClellan's pass tipped by Yzerman. McClellan works it out center ice. Here comes Kevin McClellan up the right side. Tries to get around Huda. He was dumped to the ice. Dave Hunter follows up for the Oilers. Hunter along the end board. And the puck just sitting on the back of the net. Now along the end boards. McTavish being watched by Huda. Huda grabbed right a hold of the sweater. Got away with it there. Reminder, you're watching Red Wing hockey on WKBD TV 50, where Craig Simpson has just scored his second of the night, 35th of the season on the power play. And the Oilers lead it 4-3. Edmonton scoring all 4 of their goals here in the second period.
Good opportunity here. Carson. Connell forced him off to the side, and Steffen really just held his ground and didn't give Jimmy Carson anything to shoot at all.
Looked like for a second there as Steffen was moving to his left that he opened his legs up a little bit, but he shut it down quickly as Carson let the shot go. Face off to the right of Steffen. Yzerman controls the draw. Chason plays it around. Gallant able to tip it by Muni back into the Edmonton zone. Now Muni rolls it back for Kevin Lowe. Paul McLean in there, but Lowe able to get it loose. And that puck deflects over the glass and out of play. A reminder again, tomorrow night at Cobo Arena, 8 o'clock, first round. NIT action, the nation's oldest college basketball tournament, as the Michigan State Spartans will play host to the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Plenty of good seats available at the Joe Louis Arena box office on Ticketmaster location. And at the Cobo box office an hour and a half prior to the tip-off. Tickets are priced at $11, $9.50, and $8. And those $8 seats are only $6 with a Michigan State University ID. And all Red Wings season ticket holders can call and charge their tickets tomorrow at 567-7500. That's the NIT first round action, Cobo Arena, tomorrow night at 8. Minute 45 remaining here in the second period. Wings trailing, but here's Zombo trying to send it toward the net. Ranford had to make a save. Penalty coming to the Oilers as Yzerman was dumped in front. The Red Wings will go on the power play. Messier and Gallant have some words. And the Red Wings will have their second power play opportunity of the hockey game. A high sticking call to Craig Muni, former #1 pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 1980.
Minute 34 to go in the second period. 4-3 now, Oilers leading in a very physical second period. Bookberger and Koster, the only fight of the period. They're out now, and there's the hook on Yzerman from a high angle look at it.
So it'll be Yzerman, McLean, Gallant up front, Oates and Chason back at the points on the power play. Yzerman and McTavish on the faceoff. Gallant gets it back to Chason. McTavish knocks it away and he clears. This was one area of the Edmonton game that was supposed to suffer greatly with Gretzky out of the lineup, but the Oiler penalty killing first in the NHL, and they have a league best 25 shorthanded goals. McTavish across the line, dumps it back in behind Steffen. He just lets it go. Here comes Messier.
Last minute of play.
See, he gets it loose. The pass is picked off by Oates. Less than a minute remaining now, second period. Don't forget, in our second intermission, we'll update you with a news brief once again from back in our TV 50 newsroom, so stay with us. Chason works it across the line. Oates sends it to the opposite corner. Barr is there. Plays it back to Yzerman. Quickly back to Barr. Oilers not letting the Wings set up. Wings getting bunched up as well. Nice play by Gallant to get that to Yzerman. 30 seconds left in the period. Yzerman at the top of the circle for Gallant. Lets it go. He scores!
Oh, wow.
Perfect setup by Yzerman and a perfect shot by Gallant has tied the hockey game.
Big goal with just 26 seconds. They're all big ones, of course, but Gallant one away from his career high of 38. He's now got 37, and this game is tied at 4. Did I give a wrong number there?
That is his 39.
That is his 39. Okay, he was tied. I thought he only had 36 coming into the game. What stats I'm looking at.
Scored on the power play by number 17, Gerard Gallant.
Oh, wait a minute. It says 36 goals. Gerard Gallant. Well, I had better check the notes.
Yep.
19 minutes, 34 seconds.
Now here's Burr doing some forechecking. Kocur sends it toward the net. They score! I don't know if Burr deflected that or not. It may have gone straight in. It may have gone straight in off the shot of Kocur from the right wing boards, and in 1949.
Let's have a look and see. So the Red Wings come right back as the Oilers do with a couple of goals within seconds. Kocur with the shot. I think it was deflected by Burr. It may have gone wide. It looked like it from where Kocur was. You can't tell there. First angle might be the best one. Let's see.
It is Sean Burr.
Yep.
Scored by number 11, Sean Burr. The assist.
Just hear a bit of disappointment in there in the announcement. Couple of Wings goals. Bang, bang. Seconds apart offside right there. And that's about all she wrote here with only 5 seconds left in the period. So what a crazy period of hockey. We've had 7 goals scored in this period. Wings led it 2-0 after 1. And it's now 5-4 Detroit.
And that will do it for the period. So the Red Wings, after leading 2-0, saw the Oilers come back and score 3 unanswered to take a 3-2 lead. Wings tied it. Oilers took the lead again. And then the Wings scored 2 goals in a span of 15 seconds in the last 30 seconds of the period to lead 5-4 after 2. Only a total of 30 shots in the hockey game, 17 for the Wings and 13 for the Oilers, but plenty of them going in. Stay with us here in our second intermission. A short version of the TV 50 News coming up next. Back live once again at the Northlands Coliseum, second intermission. The Red Wings leading the Oilers by a score of 5-4. You look at the shot totals, 9-8 Edmonton in that second period. Overall, 19 for the Red Wings, 13 for the Oilers. Not the shot totals that would indicate the way the goals have been going in, but the Red Wings carried a 2-0 lead into the second period. The Oilers then got goals from Simpson, Muni, and Carson before the halfway mark of the period to make it 3-2, and we'll pick it up from there as the Red Wings tie it up on a nice play here. Yzerman holding on to the puck as we see him do so often.
As he does so often, Dave. That's the one thing you can say that's consistent there, and Chason just blew it from about 40 feet top of the circle. The Oilers had to fade back into front of the zone because they had Gallant and Barr standing there. They had to go back in, and only one guy came out, and Chase it blew it by him, and the goaltender tied the game at 3.
Then the goal by Simpson that we'll have a look at it here. Some people may feel that it was Charlie Huddy's goal all the way.
I don't think Simpson touched the puck, unless it was just a very slight tick, which can happen, of course, but it didn't seem to change direction, and it didn't seem to change its level. It went up over Steffen's trapper and made it 4-3 on a power play, but so far they've given it to Simpson, but sometimes you can tip that puck just barely off the handle of the stick, and if it hit him, that's where it hit him, right up on the handle.
I had it in my mind that Gallant had equaled his career high in goals, but you're right, this goal coming up is his 37th, which leaves him one shy of his career mark, but a power play goal and a nice setup again by Yzerman.
I'm glad we got our stats right now on that one. We're both in sync on that one. Yeah, nice play again by Yzerman. Gallant just put it through a maze of guys, and Ranford was down on his knees, and it just beat him to the far side. But, not a hard shot by Gallant, but perfectly placed, and bang, you got a 4-4 game.
I don't think that the Oilers relaxed, but after that goal tied it up, just a few seconds left in the period, and a turnover here by Janssen along the boards, and Kocur just shoots it back toward the net.
Well, see, Janssen didn't get a chance to look, and Burr actually forced him to turn blindly and throw it around the back of the net. The Oiler forward at that point had come off the boards, and Koser had stayed right there, and he just jammed it in front. Burr, when he had forced Janssen to throw it around, just came back out in front, redirected it with the backhand. Almost, it was much like his winning goal against the Rangers last week at home, where just got a little deflection and bang, it was in the net. And it's a big lead for the Red Wings to take into that intermission. I mean, that period was very feisty. I think we're going to see a very, very physical third period. Both these teams, of course, with a lot of history, as we talked about the last 2 years Campbell Conference Final, and a lot of tough guys in the lineup tonight. I think we're going to see a lot of physical play going into this third period.
And now it's time for Coach's Clinic with Jacques Demers. Back at the Northlands Coliseum, and Grant Fuhr, who we kind of expected was going to start the game, is coming in here in the third period. And just to give those shot totals again, in the second period, the Oilers did have 9 for a two-period total of 13. The Red Wings had 6 for a two-period total of 17. So Ranford faced 17 shots and gave up 5 goals. Glenn Sather had seen enough, and Grant Fuhr comes back in. Fuhr last played in this building against the LA Kings on Sunday night and gave up 6 goals and a 6-3 loss.
Well, I'm sure Glenn Sather thinking coming into the game, I'm going to give Fuhr a little bit of a break, get Ranford in there. And I don't know that you can say that Ranford has played poorly by any means, but you know, the Red Wing goals, when you look down, Robertson's was a deflection, Eisenman's was a perfect shot, Chason's a blast from the point, Gallant's a screen shot, and Burr's a deflection. So, I mean, you really can't blame Ranford, but he's just not in the right place at the right time, and therefore the change.
And the two lines right out here to start the third period. McClellan between Buchberger and Brown. Robertson, Burr, and Koser for the Red Wings.
Did they not start Ranford that 8-5 game in here, and Fuhr came in that game? I believe they did, didn't
they?
They
may have.
And Fuhr was really hot, too, when he came in.
Here's McClellan across the line. He has Buchberger, but pass hopped over a stick. Koser drops it back for Chason. Pass up the middle looking for Burr. And it's taken now by Huddy. Charlie Huddy plays it back the other way. Chason center ice ahead for Torrey Robertson. Now Janssen coming out of his own zone. Thomas Janssen still skates very well. Chason puts the hook on him. Now at the side of the net, Steffen has to steer it away. Now it goes to the corner. Zambo knocks it loose. John Burr has it. Burr at center ice, flips it across into the Edmonton zone. Buchberger knocks it down. Both teams changing up now. Buchberger into the Detroit zone, trying to go wide on Norwood, rolls it to the side of the net. And Steffen made the save. And it comes down to Gallant. His pass deflected off an Edmonton player. Norwood back to get it. He plays it around the board. Norwood crunched by Glenn Anderson. And Anderson is down and hurt.
Well, that's the idea sometimes. We've pointed it out before. Sometimes it takes more of the guy that's doing the hitting than the guy that gets hit. And here's a perfect case right here. Anderson delivered the hit on Norwood, and he's still down. See if we can pick it up. Norwood with the puck, goes around, Anderson bangs, slams him in.
Hard to tell from there what he may have done to himself. Red Wings, Mick, continuing on this road trip. They'll move into St. Louis for a game on Saturday. The team will be traveling from here in Edmonton right through to St. Louis tomorrow. And then they'll wind up this road trip on Sunday night in Chicago. And that'll be our next telecast here on TV 50. And that could very well be a preview of the first round North Division playoff. Early here in the third period, Red Wings leading 5-4. Back after this. Early in the third period. Glad you're still with us here. 11:30 now, Detroit time or so.
Isn't it strange when you come into a building where to get noise, they've got to put noise up on the clock and entice the crowd to get into the game? It's just hard to fathom that when we are used to the kind of crowds we are at Joe Louis Arena. We're into the game all the time. One of the big Oiler defensemen, Greg Muni, they have tried to get size, and they have got size, but they've got several guys injured. As Dave pointed out at the top of the show, Bukaboom out of there. Steve Smith has missed 33 games with injuries. Here's Anderson back out there. When you look at Smith and Bukaboom, Mooney, Randy Gregg, some big, big people back there on that Oiler defense. Kevin Lowe's no small guy either.
Huda From the blue line, a shot deflected. Fior the save. Wow. That was a tough one on a deflection there.
It was. And Yzerman just missed the rebound. It came straight out.
Power Play for Mercy Kids campaign still rolling along very nicely, as we already have from you viewers. $951 pledged for the 65 power play goals that have been scored. Actually, now it's 66 goals, so you can add another $951 to that total of $61,831. If you would still like to become a power play partner, you can do it. Help kids who cannot afford hospital care. Call 927-7272 or write to Power Play for Mercy Kids, 6071 West Outer Drive, Detroit, 48235. Whatever you pledge at this point will be retroactive and will be good for every power play goal the Red Wings score during the regular season and the playoffs.
62-782. That close?
Here comes Messier across the line. Good poke check there, but the Oilers still have it. A shot at the side of the net was stopped. And Norwood able to work at center ice, just out of the reach of Yzerman. Messier plays it around. Now Craig Muni being bothered by Gallant, doing some forechecking now. Gallant took him off the puck. Here's Barr. Barr behind the net, looking to get it in front, and it was just out of the reach of Yzerman's stick, held in by DeLorme. Now Barr has it again. Yzerman setting up in the crease. The pass in front, intercepted by Muni. He's able to clear to Anderson. Up the right side now for Simpson. Threw himself offside there when he stepped on the puck. Craig Simpson out of Michigan State University. Of course, was drafted second overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1985. That was the year that Wendell Clark went first to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And last year he had 56 big ones. He went over there or came here actually in the Paul Coffey deal, which was back in November of '87, about a year and a half ago.
O'Connell played it off the boards. It rolls back in on Fior. Fior replacing Ranford at the start of this third period. Now here's Tikkanen. Plays it ahead now for Hallward. Hallward at center ice, carries into the Detroit zone. It's taken by Curry. Lets the shot go. Step in the save, and he had to move that right skate out there to stop that one. Here comes Barr up the right side on Tikkanen. Gets by him. Klima, a save by Fior. Oates, a backhander and a save. What a stop on Klima there by Grant Fior. Curry across the line, drops for Carson, in front for Tikkanen. Save Steffen, and the rebound still there. Curry scores! Boy, that puck was just lying there, Mick, and nobody could get to it before Curry.
Yeah, they took Tikkanen out of the play, and Curry just kept coming on behind the net. Got back out in front and dumped it right up top shelf. Carson had passed to Tikkanen. He kind of got stymied there. He had nowhere to go. Look at Curry. Right now he's behind the net. Barr takes out Tikkanen. And Oates just can't get there quite in time to pick it off. And Curry dumped it right up over top of Greg Steffen to tie it at 5-5.
And for Curry, his 40th of the year. From Tikkanen and Gregg. And Mick, how often do we see that happen after a great save at the other end? Fior stopping Klima. And here comes Huddy. Zambo playing it up the boards. Oilers held it in. McTavish with a hit on Zambo, but Zambo works it ahead to Higgins. Drop pass now for Shabbat across the line. Leaves it there for King. Chris King a shot. Fior the save. Rebound Higgins. Taken down as he went for the net. Higgins looking at Bob Hall for a call. He won't get one. Lacombe sends it to the side of the net. Steffen steers it aside. Here's Hunter. Rolls it in front. Tipped away by Steffen. Recovered by Shabbat. Now Shabbat rolls it toward the net. Oilers able to clear. Here's Hunter. Hunter rolls it off the boards into the Red Wings zone. Zambo has it. Oilers changing up. Now Chason just rolls it in wide of Fior. They waved off the icing. 4.5 gone by here in the third. Oilers have scored a goal to tie it. 5-5. Anderson. He's in front for Messier.
Boy, there's no call on that play as Norwood's dumped on an offensive play by Anderson.
Gallant drops it back. Norwood goes to Yzerman. A fake. Oh, and he went to the backhand, and Fjord got a piece of it.
He did get a piece of it, just barely. Look at this, down end to end.
Here comes Messier. Couldn't get around Huda. Steffen played it up the boards, but Anderson holds it in. Messier for Simpson. It was just out of his reach. Here comes Yzerman now. He was checked by Kevin Lowe. McLean, right in front of the Edmonton bench, had it knocked away. And here comes Messier back across the Detroit line. Huda slaps it back the other way. Now here come the Oilers, catching the wings on a line change. Taking it to Curry, misfired on it. And Steffen had to make the save anyway. But Curry misfired on that one-timer. Boy, it's really opened up now. That puck never came across the line, and here comes Sean Burr back the other way. Drops it back for Coaster. Let the shot go, it's blocked. DeLorme sends it back to the side of the net. Burr is checked by Randy Gregg. Hallward is knocked down, and the crowd wanted a penalty there on Coaster.
Well, they can call them both sides. You're going to call them, call them. If not, just let them go both sides. It's that simple.
You're out of the net to play it away from Coaster. Randy Gregg checked there by Robertson. Here's Coaster trying to get it in front, blocked by Hallward. Hallward now lays it off the boards, and Curry lost the puck. Quick shot, and saved by Fjord on Coaster.
Ah, that son of a gun, he's doing it again. He did it the last game in here. Detroit penalty coming up. Tikkanen drilled by Coaster as he's going to the bench, and out comes Fjord. Steffen will catch it, get the whistle, and Detroit will be shorthanded again. It's the second time on a line change, and we'll be back in a moment. 5-5 game. Joey Coaster got a piece of Esa Tikkanen in front of the Red Wing bench as he was heading to the bench. He got caught by Bob Hall. Both teams getting away with some infractions. And Grant Fjord just a moment ago made a spectacular save on Coaster. First on Yzerman right here. Watch him go to the backhand. Watch that goal stick. Just got a piece of it. It was the right pad, actually. And the Oilers now on the power play.
Fourth power play of the night. They have converted one of their previous three. Look out, here comes Yzerman. 2-on-1 with Shabbat. Yzerman lets the shot go. Oh, and Fjord has it in his glove as Yzerman went for the far side. And Grant Fjord, coming cold off the bench, has stoned the Red Wings with some spectacular goaltending.
Puck gets by Charlie Huddy. Fjord out of that net about 15 feet.
Boy, that is some save.
He's made about 4 or 5 of them here in the 6.5 minutes of this third period.
Here is Zambo off the face-off, a shot and a save there by Fjord, although that one may have been wide. And the Oilers with the man advantage will start it ahead. Anderson across for Messier into the Detroit zone. Backhands it in front of the net. Steffen juggles, but he has it and hangs on. They've changed the second assist on Curry's goal. It is Curry from Tikkanen and Carson at 3:16 of the third period. Well, we've had a couple of games in a row. Vancouver last night, this one here tonight, Mick. Playoff-like intensity to it, and I suppose you would expect that when you come down the last 10 games of the season. You really have to gear your thinking after going through the so-called dog days of the season.
Here's an identical play again.
And
look at that.
Shabbat this time. He has Yzerman coming late. Shabbat lets it go.
Oh, what a snapper. Oh, boy, I'm going to tell you.
Boy, that's a happy group of
You're
Red
not
Wings.
kidding. Look at that. Yzerman go over there and absolutely hug Johnny Shabbat. You know the difference here, Dave? You had a right-handed shooter, Yzerman, the last time. The bad angle with the right-handed shot being into the corner. This time it's Shabbat, the left-hand shot. And out where that puck and the stick is a lot more room than where Shabbat's body is on the right-hand side. And he beat Fjord over the trapper into the top corner. Look at that. Great angle right there. And it's 6-5. Short-handed goal, Detroit. John Shabbat. Oh, man.
Yzerman gets his third assist to go along with his goal, so he's got a 4-point night. Shabbat second of the year from Yzerman and Zambo at 7:07.
Identical play, though. The puck gets by the Edmonton point, Huddy. and 2 wings break in.
Here's Huddy with a high shot. Whistles it over the top of Steffen's head. Oilers still with a man advantage for 55 seconds. Back to the line, Janssen. Gives it off now to Tikkanen. Tikkanen in the circle, now directing traffic.
Curry stays into the corner where he is right now. They can leave him there unless he comes to the corner of the net. Then they're going to take it away.
Curry sends it to the line. Janssen moves it now to Huddy. Back to Janssen. Tic-tac-toe. It goes to Carson across. Tipped away. And Barr did not get it out of there. Now it'll be drilled by Chason down the ice.
There's a big difference when a guy stays in the corner like that. He's not dangerous over there until he moves to the side of the goalpost. Then the defenseman can't go out and challenge. He's got to stay back.
Curry sends it ahead, wide of Steffen. Here comes Tikkanen, and he just missed that far post trying to catch Steffen out of there. Janssen now off for Curry. Back to the left point, low with a shot. Steffen the save, rebound. At the side of the net, Carson had a shot at it. Now a centering pass, and it just rolled off the stick of Tikkanen. Bouncing puck, Kevin Lowe holds it in. Wings back at full strength. Kosar is back on the ice, and he'll collect it over here on the board. And starts it back now for Yzerman. Yzerman a little move on Muni's taken down, and no call made by Bob Hall.
Oh, you have got to be kidding. Oh, boy. Even the Edmonton crowd reacted to that.
Yzerman perhaps helping it a little bit with the dive at the end, but if he's not taken down, he gets in for a scoring chance. Here's Teakin. He's going to burst right in, but it's poked off his stick, and Anderson had it knocked away.
Well, even the Edmonton crowd reacted to that non-call.
Here's the giveaway center ice. Barr drops it back at Norwood. Rips it into the Oilers zone. 6-5 Red Wings on a shorthanded goal. Here's a steal by Oates. In front, Klima couldn't get the shot away. Still loose. They scramble for it, and it's poked out of there. Here comes Messier, full head of steam. Across the line. Taken down. Nice play by Huda. He'll clear the other way. The icing call will be made as Hallward touches up. 6-5 Red Wings with 10:25 to go. Don't go away.
One more time, a look at Muni and Yzerman. Yzerman did jump up in the air to try to draw the call, but the key there was that Muni got his stick between Yzerman's legs and prevented him from going to the outside to cut around. So I just have the feeling, though, even though that may have been a help by Yzerman, that if it had gone the other way, it would have been called.
Chason with a blast and a save by Fuhr, and he had to flash out that left pad to make that save. Chason, every time he moves into that position, Mick, he is shooting for openings. Grant Fuhr has been a difference in this hockey game since he has come in. He's made several spectacular saves. Zombo, a shot trickles just wide of the far post. Klima for Oates right out in front, and it was blocked before it got through. Oates again behind the net. Battling off Randy Gregg, centers it, and it rolls all the way through the zone.
You know, you were talking about Chason. You watch. Before too long, Steve Chason is going to be getting serious consideration for the Norris Trophy. And I don't think it'll be too long.
Lacombe now starts it back with Messier. It rolls in wide of Steffen. He's out of the net to play it back up the board. And Oates able to tip it away from Janssen. Past the halfway mark of this third period, Red Wings 6, Oilers 5. Janssen holds it in. He tries to move in. His shot was blocked in front, and it's cleared out center ice. Robertson has it now with Barr moving up. Barr on the right side. Tried to go back to Robertson, and the pass was blocked by Janssen. Robertson at center ice. Was poked away from him. Dave Hunter circles back inside his own line now for McTavish. And Lacombe drives it ahead in behind Steffen. O'Connell sends it ahead to Kosar. Had it knocked away by Curry, but the Wings recover, and they slap it back into the Edmonton zone. Janssen back to get it. Now here come the Oilers 3-on-2. Carson to Hunter. Trying to get it back to Carson. It rolls all the way through to Steffen, and he will cover up. With 8:24 remaining in the third period, and the Red Wings leading 6-5. Season play. Of course, they've won a couple of playoff games here. They won game 1 of the '87 Campbell Conference Finals. Yzerman and Carson on the draw. It comes back now for Chason. Chason works it off the glass. No icing here. Low in behind his own net. Leaves it there for Tikkanen. Tikkanen sends it across now for Muni. Back for Kevin Lowe. Drives it across the Detroit zone. Here comes Curry, but Chason was there. Curry drops it back. Quick shot. He scores! Carson with a bullet drive. His second of the night and 47th of the season. And it's a 6-6 hockey game as Carson went high with that one.
That one went off Stephen's stick. Hit the goal stick and ricocheted up into the top of the net. That thing off the backboard. And Curry gets possession over Chason. Bang to Carson. It hit Stephen's stick. Went up under the bar, and we're tied again. It looked like a harmless play. A dump into the corner, but Curry came up with a loose puck.
Kevin Lowe also getting an assist. Here's a pass for Yzerman. He's in alone. Saved by Fjord. Oh, my. A breakaway for Yzerman, and he's stopped by Fjord. One of the few times lately we've seen Yzerman go to the deke. Grant Fjord has just been phenomenal since coming into this hockey game. Chason dumps it back in behind Fjord. Oilers work it back to Anderson. Little outlet pass now for Simpson. Drops it for Messier. Trying to cut in. Got a shot away. And that's Simpson again with Steffen.
I think it was the other way around this time. Simpson was there, and Steffen saw him and got the stick up in the air and said, "I owe you one," and bang. It was just a very convenient, I didn't mean to do that. He returned the favor. Watch what happened. Simpson's going for the net. Watch Steffen turn around. Bang. Thank you very much. Paybacks are a son of a gun, aren't they?
Incidentally, Carson with 47 goals now, just 3 shy of his 50th as he comes back out on the ice. And he's looking to become just the second player in NHL history to hit the 50-goal plateau twice by the age of 20. Of course, Wayne Gretzky, the only other player to do that. Quite a distinction. A very select company.
Boy, this Oiler team, I'll tell you, they are so explosive. They jump down the ice, they make plays, they still have super ability offensively. The transition game, Dave, has always been their key and still is. They can turn defensive into offensive probably better still than anybody in the National Hockey League.
Boy, dangerous place for this faceoff, right directly in front of Steffen, about 15 feet. Carson lets the shot go right off the draw. Steffen had to make a save. Paul McLean. It never came outside the line. Here's Carson. Poke check by Yzerman. Pass up the middle for Yzerman. He's being hooked by Tikkanen. Gets the shot away, and it rolls just wide. McLean dumps it to the corner now for Gallant.
Ooh, Yzerman just smacked Tikkanen right over the head with the stick, and he's going to get a penalty for it. He gave it to him pretty good because Tikkanen gave him a ride into the end boards. He knocked him down, and then he chopped him over the back of the head, but Yzerman incensed.
Bob Hall. Bob Hall has not been a friend of the Red Wings. This will be 14 power plays against the Red Wings to just 4 in the last 2 nights when we come back.
Yzerman in the box for the second time tonight. He's not so upset really about his penalty being called, but that there wasn't one called against Tikkanen for the rough ride that he gave Stevie in the corner.
They try to hit Curry breaking in. Now Curry has it, drops it back along the board. Out to the line now for Janssen. Lets the shot go. Steffen the save. Kicks it way up in the air. And now it's slapped out of there by Norwood all the way down the ice. Power play number 5 for Edmonton. They have scored a power play goal, but they've also given up a shorthanded goal. That one by Shabbat earlier in this period that gave the Wings a 6-5 lead. Right now it's 6-6 with just under 6 minutes remaining. Tikkanen drives it in wide of Steffen. Lays it back up the board. Shabbat, nice move to pull it away from Tikkanen. And Zambo works it ahead. Huddy held it in. Now Zambo to Shabbat. He backhanded down the ice. Now Norwood blocks that. It's slapped away by Burr. Grant Fuhrer may play 20 minutes in this hockey game, be the #1 star, Mick.
Yeah, no kidding. The Wings could have 4 or 5 goals very easily. Don't let this guy loose.
Oh, Messier's in around for a backhander and a save by Steffen. Burr able to knock it past Lowe down the ice. Boy, Messier with that burst of speed to the outside. He had Norwood twisted around like a pretzel. Messier drops it back for Anderson. Anderson to Messier, just offside.
24 left. The Yzerman slashing penalty.
Sunday night here on TV 50, we'll have the Red Wings at Chicago Stadium taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Always a great rivalry, and perhaps a preview of a first-round Norris Division playoff matchup. Red Wings and the Blackhawks live Sunday night at 8:30 right here on TV 50, your place for sports in Detroit.
Jock open to come out of here with something at this point. He'll take the point if he has to. It was a tough game last night in Vancouver, the 2-2 tie, and big weekend coming up in St. Louis Saturday and Chicago Sunday.
Shabbat tried to knock it away from Randy Gregg. Gregg leaves it for Messier. Plays it ahead for Anderson. He'll catch up to it. Tried to go high on that short side. Lowe holds it in. Penalty to Yzerman has expired. But the Oilers had control. Now it's knocked away. Here's Shabbat. Has Barr on the right side across the line. Back for Shabbat. Back for Barr. Back for O'Connell. A shot was saved by Fuhrer. Here's Yzerman now in the corner. Right in front. He was looking for Barr. Chase on. In front for Yzerman. Tipped away. Randy Gregg with a big play.
Sure was a good play by Gregg. He anticipated the pass to Yzerman, who was alone in front.
Another great save by Fuhrer on O'Connell that time. Here's Hunter. Poke check by Barr. Klima couldn't quite control. Zambo plays it back to Klima. Drops it back to Chason. That's knocked away by Huddy, and now McLean circles back. Kevin McClellan dropped it back to Janssen. Janssen plays it along the boards. In behind Steffen. Zambo up the boards. Huddy holds it in. A shot deflected up over the glass and out of play. 3.5 remaining in regulation time. We are tied at 6.
Coming in relief for Bill Ranford. Can't find the shot clock here. Moves it up the other end. 28-24 now in favor of Detroit.
Tikkanen holds it in for the Oilers. Now it comes loose again. Klima, Tikkanen, Oates is there for the Wings. It comes out to the line. Huddy sends it toward the net. Knocked out of the air by Tikkanen. Winds up for the shot. Steffen the save, and he'll hold on to it.
.307 to go. 6-6 hockey game. Tikkanen just had lots of time there and a scramble to puck up in the air, and he just drilled one. Steffen got him with the pad.
That's Tikkanen. He's having a great year. Known mainly for his checking role. He's done a great job on his former teammate Wayne Gretzky when Gretzky's come into town. But Tikkanen with 31 goals.
Missed a bunch of games, too.
Missed 14 games with a broken bone in his wrist. 12-game scoring streak coming into this one, which is now 13. He had an assist on the Curry goal.
Reacting to the little pirouette that Randy Mitten did.
Dave Barr playing on the right side with Oates and Klima. They're up against Carson, Curry, and Tikkanen. Oates wins the draw. Connell to center ice, dumps it in behind Fuhr. Fuhr had it tied up in his skates there for a moment. Now Janssen plays it up the left wing side for Tikkanen. Rink wide pass. Curry had to slow down to get it. Now his pass hit Barr, but he just backhands it in wide of Steffen.
Johnson is hurt. He goes
Look out, Steffen's out of the net. Nick banked off his left leg. Hit the side of the net. Curry sends it right back for Carson. Carson plays it off the boards. Klima slaps it away center ice. Kevin Lowe rolls it ahead. Klima blocks that. Plays it ahead to Paul McLean. McLean up into the Edmonton zone. McLean holds up. Tries to dump it back for Oates. It was picked off, and Carson starts it back the other way for Curry. Curry across the line. Now it's slapped away by McLean. Tikkanen. He and Chason bump. Paul McLean now. Lays it up the right side. Oates has it there. Wings looking for a line change. They're going to get the Yzerman line out there now with 1:45 left in regulation time. 6-6 our score. Anderson, look out. Yzerman stepped into that. Couldn't quite control it. Dumps it back in, though, along the end boards. Anderson checked by McLean. Here's Gerard Gallant in the circle. Drops it off. Yzerman back for McLean. He scores! What a redirection! What a play by Yzerman, and what a redirection by McLean with 1:29 left on the clock.
They finally got the extra point. 7-6 Detroit. McLean really did a job on Anderson. He all but mugged him. Took him off the puck, let Gallant get it, who got it to Yzerman, and McLean went back to the net, took a back pass from Stevie, and it's 7-6. Look at this. Backhand redirection. Fuhr just can't quite get it quick enough. He's gotten everything else, and that should be it.
Yzerman's 5th point of the night. Goal and 4 assists. We'll keep an eye on Grant Fuhr, as the Oilers will have to go for the extra attacker here. Right now it's Burr, Koser, and Robertson out there against Messier's line. Messier dumps it in wide of Steffen.
How come Fuhr's not coming yet? 1:15 to go.
Norwood plays it off the boards. Johnson held it in. Centering pass. O'Connell was there to knock it away. Norwood up the boards again. Robertson to the line. Johnson held it in. Shot is blocked by Norwood. And the Wings can't get it out here. The Oilers with the pressure.
Here he comes.
Now Fuhr goes to the bench for the extra attacker. Messier takes a look. Gives it off now. Pass into the circle. Now it goes back to Carson. A shot did not get through. Burr without a stick. Oh, and Koser cleared it. I thought it'd be a hand pass there. 35 seconds remaining.
Wings on a line change. Look out.
Norwood didn't get it out the first time. Gallant will get there. Gets it to Yzerman. He's got an open net. Got far with him.
Look what he did. Look what he did. He flipped it over him. You believe that? And he has just found every way in the world to score a goal. Oh, my goodness. What else could he do? Watch this play. Yzerman with Barr. And watch what he does with Kevin Lowe back. Look, he flipped it over his head. One bounce into the net. And that just about tells you about Steve Yzerman. He has done it all this year, scored goals in every way possible. And there's a way that you're rarely ever going to see, but he did it. And that is nothing more than thinking way ahead of most other people in the game.
Oh, boy. Gallant and Norwood will draw the assist.
And there'll be no voting on the Budweiser player of the game. I can see that. What's Yzerman got? 6 points or 5 points?
Well, we'll add it up here with 11 seconds to go. 8-6 back after this.
Well, what can you say? 11 seconds to go. This one's all over. 8-6 Detroit. Can't keep up with all the scoring. Yzerman has 6 points in the hockey game. And just scored a goal a moment ago that you will rarely, ever see in your lifetime scored again in the NHL.
Here is Burr now, the final seconds ticking down. And that'll do it. As we need to remind you, you've been watching this Red Wing action on WKVD TV 50 as we reach the midnight hour back in Detroit. And Grant Fuhr played a great 20 minutes of hockey.
He sure did, Dave.
But you look at the goals that were scored. Shabbat right up in the top corner, shorthanded. Then McLean on the redirection, and then Eiserman into the empty net. And the Red Wings beat the Oilers. The Red Wings now with 76 points, 2 behind Edmonton, and only 4 behind the LA Kings when you look at those overall standings. So we'll be back with our wrap-up right after this.